What's up, my triple loving YouTube friends? Here's a question I get all the time. Hey Todd, how do you make all your stuff look so damn gorgeous? Well, I figured, you know what, I'll do a quick video. I'll go through the steps that Trent and I take to clean up our sleds when we get them in. We just buy them, when we get them in, they turn into a project, and the first thing, very first thing we always do is clean them. Clean them, get the years of grease, and two-stroke oil and chain case oil and all that stuff out from underneath the hood and from the bottom of the seat. We pull the seats off so we can clean them between the tunnel and the seats and everything. So I figure I'll just start outside because I have Project, sorry, I was about to choke. I have Project Cooter sitting outside, and that's where we start at. And oh Jesus, I gotta show you this picture too. I apparently got to be careful of the faces I make on YouTube when I'm doing my videos, because I got this from my good friend Paula and Scott. They're over for Missy and I's 50th birthday, and that was what they gave us for a birthday gift, that picture. That's freaking hilarious. But anyways, here's where we start, right outside. Here we got Project Cooter out here, and pressure wash. Very first thing I do. I've taken, a lot of times, we already took the engine out. Trent and I got so excited the other night. The engine and the track and everything, the chain case came out of this thing in about 20 minutes. We wanted to get this thing rolling, get it moving forward. But a lot of times I'll just have the engine in it. Even if I'm going to take the engine out, I'll have it in it just to get all that first layer of grease and everything off the engine before I go ahead and start parts washing everything. But this is where we start. I just use the pressure washer. I'll put a bunch of degreaser, engine degreaser on everything. I let it soak for a few hours on everything, and then I'll drag it out here and hit it with the pressure washer. Now, you don't want to put the strongest tip you have on in your pressure washer and go to town underneath that hood, because you're going to peel everything off underneath there. I usually use the white. It's like a 15-degree fan tip. That's what I use. It's not a lot of pressure, but it's enough to cut everything off underneath there. It already looks so much better underneath the hood. And then after we do that, I'll drag it inside and I'll let it dry for a day or so until everything's nice and dry. And then I'll go in there with the air hose, blow out that whole belly pan area, the whole bulkhead area, all that stuff. I'll blow it all out with air to get all the hidden debris that'll get stuck underneath that. I mean, blowing belts, a lot of hardware. You wouldn't believe the amount of tools I find underneath these engines too. I got a good supply of 10 mils and 12 mils and 13s because of people dropping their tools underneath the engine. So I got a good supply of them. But oh, I'm having some issues here. Anyways, so I'll bring it in here, and then I'll blow it all out, and then I'll hit it with some Simple Green. I got that sitting on the bench here. I'm a lover. I love this stuff. But I'll hit it with Simple Green in a spray bottle. I'll just spray it over everything, and I'll just let it soak in. And then I'll go back hours later and just wipe up whatever's left over, any residue and stuff. I'll wipe it up then. So after pressure washing, then our motors get tore down. Like it's sitting here, Project Cooter, the bottom end for it. It'll get tore down, and then it heads to the parts washer. And this is where we do a lot of our cleaning at, in the parts washer. Cylinders, carbs. I initially clean everything in here that is going to be ran through our ultrasonic cleaner. If it's going through the ultrasonic cleaner, first I get all the big heavy stuff off of, like the carbs. I'll clean those. If I'm going to run a clutch in there, I'll clean that. I'll clean everything in here before I run it in that ultrasonic cleaner. Anytime you're running anything through a parts washer, next thing you want to do is run it under water. I just happen to have a bathroom in our shop, so I got a laundry sink in there. I'll save you the beauty of going into the bathroom. But I got a laundry sink in there. Run everything under water to get all that parts washing fluid off of it. Clean it with water. And then a lot of times, if it's winter time, our parts get set over here in front of our wood boiler furnace to dry. I always keep a good supply of parts sitting over here dry, and that's actually a cylinder that's going to go on cheapo. So parts, pressure washer, parts washer, and then if anything's going for detail look, we come in here into the tool room, and this is where Tim comes and does a lot of his water pumps into this blasting cabinet. And I keep a glass bead media in here, real fine media for doing all of our aluminum parts in. This is where I'll blast my cylinders. The water pumps get done in here. Any of the aluminum parts that we want to look shiny again gets blasted in here. Got a vacuum to catch the dust, blah, blah, blah. So blasting cabinet, great tool to have in the shop if you're trying to clean up aluminum. Then if I'm really trying to go for a nice detail look, wire wheel on the grinder. Now I was told, Todd, you can't do that. It's gonna tarnish your cylinders. I've been doing it for years. they all seem to look just fine. All aluminum eventually gets tarnished. But I just wire wheel them on there. But God's sakes, be careful with them things. They throw out little wires everywhere. Make sure you got safety glass on. A lot of times I'll even wear a shield. I've got them stuck in my chin and my cheek and stuff, and damn does it sting. But look at these cylinders here. These are for cheapo too. I was just kind of bouncing around tonight on working on some projects, but these are going to be going on cheapo. These are some SPX cylinders that we're going to be building for cheapo. And then, so I was wire wheeling them up. And I got to go back in here and hit all the little small spots that bigger wheel can't hit. And I'll hone them. And I'm going to do a little porting in them too. Not much, just a little bit of porting. Just a little tiny bit of porting inside. I got a bunch of parts laid out here for Cooter to put the engine back together on Cooter. So I've just been cleaning and staging my parts. I'm real close. I almost thought I was going to put the bottom end together tonight and do a video on the bottom end of just installing the crank, going through the steps of doing that. But I decided to go into a cleaning video. So the other thing we use too, you can see the basket of parts over here. I just pulled it out of our ultrasonic cleaner. We got a fairly large one to be able to fit a lot of parts in. You can get 3 carbs in there. I had all these in there. The 2 water pumps, 3 carbs. This is what they look like after bead blasting. And then I just ran it in the cleaner to see if it was going to change the coloring of the aluminum all. Here's a factory looking pump. So I'm kind of on the fence which one I like better here. I don't know. But here's something. This pump came off of the engine that came out of Cooter, the 680 that was in there. It's a 96 bottom end, so it's got to run an oil bath water pump. As you can see right here, there's the fill plug and the sight glass, oil bath. Anybody happen to notice what's not in the bottom of this water pump? Yeah, the drain plug that drains the oil out of the water pump. Everything looks perfect on this gear and everything looks mint. The thing rolls mint. Now I know my cousin Jake built this sled long time ago. That drain plug isn't in the belly pan or in the bulkhead area either. I almost wonder if it was never in. And a lot of people just didn't know a lot about these water pumps, that they had to have oil in them. So that's telling me in '97 when Polaris switched the design and had the oiling system of the sled lubricate this gear, because that's all their concern was, is that this gear in contact with the steel gear that's on the crank right here, here's the steel gear in the crank, Polaris was only trying to lubricate that connecting surface right there to keep it from wearing out. Everything else in that pump is lubricated by your antifreeze, and there's sealed bearings and there's seals and everything. I don't know all the internal workings. I've honestly have never watched him build one yet. I've watched him take one apart, but I've actually never seen the process, so I can't fully explain what goes on inside that pump. But I do know that gear is lubricated by the 2-stroke oil in 97, 98, 99, and on up. And I've always wondered how much lubrication it gets, because they ran them in an oil bath in 96 only, and then they switched the design. So I'm really wondering on that one. I'm really wondering what the lubricating quality is on that gear. But I got sidetracked, sorry, squirrel. So Trenton's got a track sitting in here, he's got a skid sitting in here, that's all for Cooter. But here's our ultrasonic cleaner sitting over here in the corner, and this is the one we have. I got it running right now. It's just it's heated right now, and this is the cleaner that we also use too. Good friend of mine, Derek Kraft, recommended this cleaner. I love it. Amazon carries it. It's inexpensive. They actually carry it. I'm sure all their warehouses carry it. Like our local warehouse, I think, is in Shakopee. I ordered that stuff a few months ago when we set this cleaner up. I ordered that at 10 o'clock in the morning. I had it by 4 o'clock that night. I didn't realize Amazon worked like that, but I was pretty amazed that when I got home from work, I already had the cleaner sitting here. And then our final step of detailing is the SC1. Y'all know that from my last video. We talked about flip. The final clean on flip is done by SC1. We just got turned on to here by our neighbor Josh on that product. We love it. Once again, Amazon deal. But like I said, I use a lot of simple green too. I love that stuff too. And I do got to say, I would have never guessed this would have happened. But once again, within minutes of me posting Cooter, Project Cooter, and I had it sitting in here with Flip. So I had Flip and Cooter sitting in here. And within minutes of the video posting, I got a couple emails right away. And one of them was from Brian. And Brian's from Wisconsin, a neighbor. He's a neighbor of ours, basically. We're in Minnesota, Brian's in Wisconsin. and he had emailed and inquired on, he originally inquired on flip, but Butch and Bev had committed to that already. And so when I posted Cooter, Brian had sent me an email again, hey, I would be honored to own Cooter. You know, can I give you a deposit? We'll just call it a done deal, you know. And that wasn't really what I was looking to do, was like sell sled. That's why I never offered flip for sale until it was done. I didn't think that that I would have somebody want to buy it before it was even complete, you know, so they knew what they're going to be looking at. Brian expressed interest, and he wanted to put a deposit on it. I just said, we can talk details tomorrow. This was kind of late in the evening. Next morning I got up and I had gotten a text message very early that morning from Butch. And Butch says, Bev and I seen the video last night. Can we buy a Cooter also? And I'm like, wow, really? And they're kind of with my feeling on it. They wanted to keep them together. And so I checked on shipping of a second sled. I gave them the price on it. They're good with it. It's a done deal. Butch and Bev are knowing both of them. Both of them are going to Pennsylvania. It's crazy. I mean, I'm humbled. I mean, I don't know what to say. I can't believe that somebody would, you know, want to buy both of them and ship them to their house, and they're going to own them both. I mean, it's going to be awesome. I wish I could keep them both. I mean, we have a pair of 99 XCR 800s. I'd love to have a pair of 97 XCR 600s. You know, I'd love to have pairs of sleds, but you said I'm just busting at the seams. You only can own so many. And, you know, we got up to 13 of them. I was like, okay, I just feel like we're wrenching and wrenching and wrenching and wrenching, trying to keep sleds running. And that's when I started selling some off, and we sold 3 Storms in a matter of a couple weeks. And it was like, whew, guys, I feel better now. Not so many sleds to deal with. And then, but in the meantime, we had bought and flipped because with the intentions of flipping it. And then I bought Cooter with no intentions on selling that. And then I just got realizing more and more, it's like, you know, I have to purge another one. And I think I'm done. I think I'm at the level I want to be. I'm not sure what the count is, 9 or 10, somewhere right around there. I'd have to count them through my head. But yeah, so Bev and Butch, you're gonna love this sled. They're gonna have a matching pair of them, and they're gonna have a hoot on these things. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate all the views. We're gonna get back into building this. You can see it's all tore apart. Now it's gonna go in the back together stage. But I think I'll just do a nice detailed video on the whole crank install. Those are handy. Tom Streeter did one a couple years ago when he did his Ultra. And you wouldn't believe how many times I refer back to that. So maybe if I did my own video, I could refer back to my own video. But Tom's gotten about 12 views from me on one of them, on a couple of his Ultra videos, because I build so many Ultras. I forget all the torque specs and stuff. But now I actually have most of them memorized. But Tom did great detailed videos on his Ultra build, and I think I might have to put one out there so I have something to refer to. Thanks, guys.